This is basically one of my favorite days in April because today is my dad's birthday. See, my dad is the man on this planet that basically almost has ever existed, really, that I admire the absolute most. He's the man that taught me to constantly seek a relationship with God, that it's okay not to know, but to always search and study and find the answer. He taught me how to exercise faith. He taught me to question things, to not accept the status quo, to not just believe in something blindly because someone said so. He's always been just the strongest man. Of course, whenever you're little, you always kind of see your dad as this giant, right? This person that is just like the strongest being that ever existed. But even in adulthood, listen, don't get me wrong, I would not mess with my dad right now. He's amazing in a bunch of different martial arts. That's not the reason why. He's just extremely strong even to this day. But not just physically, spiritually too. I mean, his strength is on so many different levels, something that I've always admired. Like, he's the guy that I go to as almost like my personal Google. I mean, whenever I can't figure something out or whenever I don't know a skill, beep, boop, 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 I'm calling my dad and I'm asking him a question. You know, everything from as broad as life advice to as laser beam specific, like how to jumpstart a car battery, or how often should I change my oil, or what's the difference between synthetic and just the normal stuff? Are they trying to like take me for a ride here? What do you think about this business idea? Or hey dad, I need this advice. He's literally like the smartest, most hardworking, most selfless man that I've ever met in my entire life. He taught me literally by example how to be a father myself, you know? I mean, they taught me how to be firm and yet be gentle, and how to be loving and also how to demand respect. He taught me how to be disciplined and how to never give up. There are two memories that really just stick out in my head as my favorite memories with my dad. One is when we lived overseas in Indonesia. We went on this camping trip. We were on this island and it was really, really gorgeous. I'll never forget it. On this camping trip, you know, my tent kind of like shakes a little bit, and it's my dad, and it's still dark outside. He says, you know, he unzips the tent and he's kind of peeking in. He's like, hey son, you know, I must have been probably, I don't know, 9, 10, maybe 11. And he says, hey son, I was about to go to the beach and catch the sunrise. Didn't know if you wanted to come with me. And I remember just kind of mumbling, like, you know, and kind of being annoyed. So he's like, all right, no problem, you know, and he goes. And I remember in that moment, and so amazing that even as like a 9 or 10 or even an 11-year-old, I had this sort of foresight, but I thought to myself, like, you know what, this is something that I think you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. Now get off your butt and go meet your dad at the beach. So I put my stuff on, I ran down to the beach just as the sun was kind of coming up over the horizon, and we got to share that moment together. It was this incredible sunrise. Like, the sun seemed gigantic. It's like the stuff you see, you know, in movies. The rays just looked like huge, and it was unbelievable. And then the second favorite memory or things that I think of all the time that kind of made me smile is when I was touring with my band, the Modern Society. I literally every single night before I went on stage would call my parents, and if my dad was working, then he wouldn't be at home, so I'd kind of call him separately. Or if my parents were together and he was off of work, then they would just kind of have me on speaker. But I'll never forget this for as long as I live, and I kind of apply this to a lot of scenarios. But every single night before I would get on stage, my dad would tell me, son, don't leave an ounce. 100% absolute everything. Put everything into this performance. Do not ever wonder if you could have done a little bit more. Give them all you have. And for all of my life, that's kind of been his ultimate sort of advice to anything that I do. And it's just, I don't know, it's just something super awesome. You know, it's amazing to learn from a man who I don't know, I admire so much, and to have such a good relationship with him. So Dad, I love you very much. Happy birthday. I hope it's the best year upcoming yet. There's so much more for you to accomplish, and I'm so proud to be your son.
Happy birthday, Papa. I sure do love you.
Happy birthday, Papa. I love you.
I love Papa.